Former President Rodrigo Duterte now faces 3 counts of crimes against humanity before the International Criminal Court. But families of the drug war victims warn, justice delayed is justice denied. On the Newsmaker, ICC spokesperson Fadi El Abdallah. So, Mr. Abdallah, thank you so much for granting this interview. Let me begin with this. So, the ICC pre-trial chamber decided to postpone the confirmation of charges hearing of the former president. Maybe could you tell us what happens next?
As you know, there was a decision postponing the opening of the confirmation of charges hearing in the case regarding Mr. Duterte. And this postponement, as indicated by the judges, is a limited postponement in order for the judges to have the time to decide on certain requests made by the defense, especially in relation to whether Mr. Duterte is fit for the proceedings and the related connects questions. And once these decisions are made, they will be made public, of course, and then we will know what would be the potential impact of these decisions on the continuation of the proceedings. But at this moment, we cannot speculate on what the judges will be deciding. A confirmation of charges hearing is not a trial and is not a mini trial. It's a filter to decide whether the case of the prosecutor is strong enough to go to a trial, or there is not enough evidence once the judges have listened to the prosecutor, but also to the defense and to the legal representative of victims. They may decide that the evidence is not strong enough to commit the case to a trial, and then the case can stop at a pre-trial level before going into a lengthy and difficult process of a trial. So it's a filter to check whether, to test whether these evidence are strong and deserve to go to a trial or not.
But for the families of the drug war, they see this delay as, a delay in delivering justice. What assurance can the court give that this is a procedural matter?
I do believe that what victims want is justice, is truth. And justice doesn't mean convicting someone. Justice means having the proceedings in the full respect of the rights of everyone. So the full respect of the rights of the victims, but also the full respect of the rights of the defense. And it's very important then for the proceedings to be conducted in the best possible conditions. For that, we have to fully respect the rights of the defense. And when there are important requests made by the defense, the judges have to decide on it to verify that indeed the defense rights are respected, and thus we can trust that the proceedings will be fair.
Sir, could you tell us what are the criteria that the judges will be looking at in granting an interim release?
Yes, the defendant is presumed innocent, and even if they are in detention, this detention has to be reviewed at the request of the defense or periodically by the judges on their own. Reviewed to verify whether indeed there is still a risk that this person will go at large and will not appear again before the judges, or risk for the investigations or for the witnesses, or a risk of committing crimes. If the judges are satisfied that none of these conditions are there, then they may decide on an interim release with or without conditions. And the conditions might be conditions that a state receiving a person benefiting from an interim release would have to respect and implement in order to avoid the risks that I mentioned. So this is the framework of an interim release in general. And again, we cannot speculate about the specific case because it's before the judges and it's for the judges to decide.
And is interim release similar to acquittal?
An interim release, by definition, if granted, is interim, pending the continuation of the proceedings. An acquittal is a decision that says this person is not guilty beyond any reasonable doubt, meaning that after a trial, after verification of the evidence, the judges were not convinced that the evidence presented by the prosecutor demonstrates that this person is guilty beyond any reasonable doubt. These are two completely different matters.
How about, I've asked this to you a lot of times when it comes to the health condition of the former president, but what measures do the ICC take to ensure that all of its detainees or people that's under its custody are being well taken care of?
Well, as you said, we should not be discussing any matters related to the private life of the detainees at the ICC for respect of their privacy. We have to do that. But what I can do is assure you that there is all the possible measures, the medical and welfare measures, the taking care of the detainees to the best and internationally acknowledged criteria is put in place by the ICC to make sure that our detainees are safe and we are taking care of their physical and well-being in general.
What about, sir, the accusation of some supporters of former President Rodrigo Duterte saying that the ICC is colluding with the Marcos administration? Is that a fair statement?
The ICC is a judicial institution. It's not a political institution. And as a judicial institution, there are independent and impartial judges elected by 125 state parties. And they are elected for a mandate of 9 years that is not renewable, among other guarantees of their independence and impartiality. These judges will only deliver justice. They don't take any political considerations into account when they are deliberating about important judicial matters.
In the recent months, since the former president was brought here at The Hague, the supporters of the former president are, very active in showing their statements or voicing their sentiments outside of the court.
Well, I believe that everyone is free to express his or her opinion, and we fully respect that. Now, managing the space outside of the ICC premises is not for the ICC. It's actually under the Dutch authorities and their responsibility, and all these matters have to be coordinated with the Dutch authorities. For the court, as I said, we fully respect the freedom of opinion and of expressing this opinion. We respect everyone, but the proceedings happens before the judges, and we have to fully respect this and to trust that judges are independent and impartial, and they are entrusted with applying the rules of law according to the evidence that is available to them and ensuring the fairness of the proceedings, which means the full respect of the rights of everyone, the victims, but also the defense.
Mr. Fadi El Abdallah, ICC spokesperson, sir, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.